What's up guys, it's Chandler with Bell's Diesel Solutions. Today we got a service for you on a Cat 312 excavator. This one's been on the list for a little while, just haven't been able to get to it. The customer called and complained saying that their concern was that it was running rough and that it seemed like it was getting hot. So I know this customer, they're a pretty regular customer, and what I'm thinking is the filters are probably bad. And the coolant is low, so we're gonna check those things out, do a full service on it anyways, 500-hour service, and get them up to date on their PM stuff. The reason I have my suspicions that it's a filter issue is because this has happened several times on a lot of their equipment. They run a small commercial farm, and they don't use all of the extensive equipment all the time that they have, and so it does a lot of sitting. So even though these pieces of equipment don't get many hours on them, they go years without filters sometimes. So I just took on this account about a year ago, and we've been slowly but surely updating all the PM services, even though they haven't been gone over on hours. So we're gonna do that with this piece of equipment, and we're gonna take you along. All right, so we've got everything we need for the PM service. Got our tanks for filling the fuel filters back up, got all our oil, and I picked up all the filters from Cat. Oftentimes people think these are overrated and super expensive, but oftentimes, depending on what machine you have, especially on older ones, you can find them for about the same price as if you went to Napa or O'Reilly's. We're here in the engine bay. We have our air filter here. We're not actually going to replace this today. We might blow it out depending on how dirty it is. But as you can see, this is the coolant reservoir, and it's pretty much empty. It's also cracked. That's definitely a problem. So it's not the end of the world. We can probably make a temporary repair on that, but we definitely want to check the radiator and make sure it has coolant in it. If not, then we know that's probably our problem of why it's overheating, but we're going to get started on this service. So it's indicating low on hydraulic fluid, which it did look like there was a leak on the other side here, so we'll definitely add that to the list. Alright, so the AC is working, so that's good. We're just going to move this here, and when you're in an excavator like this, you have to make sure this handle is down, or else none of your controls will work. It locks everything out. So just a safety handle, pretty much everything has that, and we're just gonna lift the boom up and track it back a little bit. We're plenty free from the grass, so we'll be good here. All right, so it looks like this has one of those Fumatsu valves or a quick close valve, so we're gonna see if that actually still works, and if so, that'd be awesome. And a bunch of dead wasps right there. If that does work, that'd be great, because then we can just drain the fluid really easily without having to take any pan bolts out. So for oil, I actually use these cattle feed troughs from Tractor Supply or Ace Hardware or something. They're extremely handy, and they catch a lot of oil without folding. If you use a Tupperware or a storage plastic underbed storage thing, they tend to fold once they get fluid in them. So these work great. All right, those are live wasps actually, so that's fun. 519. It's currently like 8:24. but the filter looks pretty good. We'll add that to the list to change eventually, but for now it's probably all right. I forgot to drain the filter out before I removed it, kind of in a hurry and just lapsed my mind, but these do have filter drains here that go to the bottom of the excavator, so make sure you do that before you remove everything. Alright, so as you can see, the coolant's low. We're going to top that off here. What's up, guys? I hope you're liking the longer form content. I sped up this clip here and just wanted to hop on and talk to you for a little bit. So as you can see, I have a head-mounted GoPro now, which I think is going to make the video quality go up significantly. You have to let me know if you like the longer form videos. I personally prefer them because it kind of shows what a technician goes through, what their thought process is, and everything. Also, look at me just yeeting the coolant bottle off to the side, but it was 100 degrees and like scorching hot, and I was sweating all day. And after I spilled that oil from the oil filter, I was just having a grand old time. This is a good example of like not letting your mind wander or get too carried away when a customer says they have a problem. You know, overheating can be a ton of issues that you could just jump to right away, but it helps to kind of keep the troubleshooting tree in line. Check the basics first. Here, the first thing I checked was if it had coolant in it, and then you can go from there. So the whole reason this thing was overheating is because the radiator was obviously empty. At the time, I didn't know how bad the leak was, so I brought a few gallons of coolant, but you'll see later in the video we figure out where the leak's coming from. I'm really trying to put out one video a week for you guys. I definitely have enough work to support the videos. I just don't always feel like recording when I'm on the job. Sometimes they're really stressful, and it's not super easy to just bring a camera in people's faces and everything like that, which is it's something I'll get used to, but for now I'm just really behind on work and trying to catch up. So Anyways, here we got the coolant reservoir filled up, and we're gonna continue on with the rest of the service. So we're using just general 15W40 from Tractor Supply. Unless the customer specifies, stuff like this is pretty decent and you'll do just fine with it. It takes about 5 gallons, but I like using the 2.5 gallon to fill it up, and then filling the 5 gallon back up with the filling the 2.5 back up with the 5. So it's kind of how I like to do it. Makes less mess. Go at the full mark. Once we start and run it, it's probably going to drain down some so the oil filter can fill up, but I like to change the oil filters and then run it and then change the fuel filters, or vice versa. I never like changing fuel and oil at the same time, just because sometimes when you change the fuel, it can hard start a little bit, and if you don't have oil in the system, it can kind of prematurely wear down your engine components. So I like to do one at a time. Start the engine, do the other side, and that way you can isolate problems. Like if you have a problem on the oil side, you'll know right away because the fuel side hasn't been touched, and vice versa. So just a good rule of thumb to get into practice of. Yeah, so there's a coolant leak right here already. So something is definitely wrong. Looks like a radiator, maybe. Have to get in there and double check everything. No coolant coming out from the top, so I know that's good. That's not good. Perfect. So we got it just above the fuel line, which is perfect. As the oil cycles through, it might go down a little bit. These filter elements have to get all the way soaked up, so that's why I go a little bit over the fill line on every service. But oil side's done, time to knock out the fuel. Just about 5 gallons. Perfect. So we know it's not losing too much oil, if any. But oil looks a little worn, a little thin, so it's definitely time for a service. We're gonna see if I can see this coolant leak better, because it is pouring out from the bottom. And if it's a radiator, they're not too bad, but just not fun for the customer. Oh yeah, big hole in the radiator. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that, but have no clue what caused that. But dang, that sucks. That sucks for the customer bad. But more business for us. It's never a good thing to have to tell the customer, especially when they've already been waiting on their machine a while. I really was hoping this leak would be just a hose clamp or something, but it definitely looks like some debris got in there and just smashed the radiator or something. I have no idea how. It could just be time as well. So we're gonna have to get a radiator for this and put that on our to-do list. We're not gonna put any more coolant in there, obviously, because it leaks all off. But glad we found that. At least the customer knows now, and we can go from there. We're gonna finish up this service and get out of here. So we're all wrapped up on this thing. The only thing we're missing is the fuel water separator, which is right there. they gave us the wrong one at CAT, so we're just gonna have to go and get the right one to fit this piece of equipment. I'm gonna clean everything up and we'll head out. So it's unfortunate that the customer is not going to be able to use this for a little while due to the radiator leaking, but I'm pretty sure that'll solve both of his original problems of low power and vehicle running hot. So it's unfortunate, but I'm glad we at least have an answer for him. A lot of times you can't always solve a problem, but you can almost always get an answer. And this is a perk of working mobile for your own company. You get pretty awesome views later in the evening. It's been hot here lately, so as you can tell, I'm still sweating, and it's 7 something at night, almost 8 o'clock. But it's still better than working in the direct sun. So we're gonna get wrapped up and head actually to another job.